that asks you to find that he knew that Cody Etherton, per se, was in that apartment, obviously. You are not required to find that he knew there was a man named Cody Etherton in that apartment. If that was the case, this would be an intentional crime, not a wanton endangerment. It would be some sort of intentional. B, that he thereby wantonly created a substantial danger of death or serious physical injury to Cody Etherton. That under the circumstances, such conduct manifested extreme indifference to the value of human life. Now, what, and you have a definition of wantonly. But I want to look at the, let's look at how the evidence has proven this. First, the instruction says he wantonly created a substantial danger of death or serious physical injury and this would be to Cody, to Chelsea, and to Zayden for each count. And that under such circumstances, such conduct manifested extreme indifference to the value of human life. So how has the evidence established this? Go on to the next. So wantonly. The definition of wantonly states a person acts wantonly with respect to a result or circumstances when he is aware of and consciously disregards a substantial and unjustifiable risk that the result will occur or that the circumstances exist. And this risk must be of such nature and degree that disregard thereof constitutes a gross deviation from the standard of conduct that a reasonable person would observe. So, you have to find that he was aware of the risk of shooting blindly into this building. There's the building. Well, there's where the bullets went through, but the building, the side of the building, the front of the building, where there was no view, through the sliding glass doors and the window. That wantonly, he has to be aware of the risk. And how do we know he's aware of the risk of shooting blindly? Well, because he has 20 years of training as a police officer. He has 20 years of twice a year having to go to the range and sit through not only classroom instruction and simulators, but actual firing at the range, shooting at a silhouette target. Because that's where you're going to be using defensive force, deadly defensive force, is against a person who's a threat. So that's why they have silhouettes shaped like a human body. And he couldn't even tell you that after Officer Gelhausen explained, yes, we use the silhouette as the target in these exercises out on the range. And we call it LMPD blue because it's a blue color. So 20 years of training, he's aware of the risk of shooting when you don't have a target. And he consciously disregarded. He ignored that risk. He consciously disregarded it. And he shot wildly in the wrong direction. And a threat can be a muzzle flash. What did Officer Gelhausen tell you about that? Seeing a muzzle flash. It can be a threat, but it has to rise to the level of an active threat. It can't just be a threat. A threat is not something that requires that you shoot at it. It has to become an active threat. There has to be a person at the end with a gun that caused that muzzle flash. It has to be an active threat. Officer Gelhausen said, if a person is standing there and you can see they've got a gun even down to their side, that's a threat, but it's not an active threat. You don't have a right to shoot somebody who's just standing there with a gun down to their side. And he told you. Now, if they raise it and point it at you, then you do have a right. That's an active threat. So he was aware of the risk of shooting blindly, and he disregarded that risk and shot wildly in the wrong direction. Next. He created a substantial danger of death or serious physical injury. Cody Etherton was at absolute risk of substantial danger of death or serious physical injury. And serious physical injury is defined for you. It's very straightforward. Chelsea was in substantial danger. When those bullets came through, they could have deflected. Instead of hitting that clock and going straight through to the sliding door, any one of those 3 bullets could have deflected off that clock and gone to Chelsea's bed. Or even as she stood up. Any one of those 3 bullets could have hit little Zayden in that bed closest to the line of fire where they did come through and go out the sliding deck. A little deviation in degree and angle of those bullets as they came through this wall and through that clock and any deviation in the angle as they deflected could have hit. 3 bullets came through. Any one of those 3 could have hit Cody, Chelsea, or little Zayden. Next slide. The circumstances. So, the instructions states that he wantonly created substantial danger of death or serious physical injury, that under the circumstances, such conduct manifested extreme indifference to the value of human life. So now, what are the circumstances? Okay, the circumstances under which he fired wantonly. Well, you have a 16-plex building, as I went through with that overhead, and you're driving through there, you can obviously see all these apartment buildings, and you drive right past 2 of them. You drive right past the ones that you're at the back, and you see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you drive around and you see, here's the front, and 8 more in the front, 8 in the back, 8 in the front. More circumstances. Testimony from the defendant himself. I told him, this is him telling Mr. Sarpy, I told him to go back in numerous times. His focus, when everybody else was focused on that door, on the knocking.
We're going to hit the pause button on the closing arguments, but in real time, we're on a verdict watch, folks. The jury's been out just about 16 minutes and counting. What they're considering are 3 counts of wanton endangerment. And so basically, it's talking about when somebody manifests an extreme indifference to human life, and they engage in conduct that creates a substantial risk of death or serious bodily injury to another person. So if I had to boil it down to just one word, think recklessness. That's what to think about. And as you can see in this part of the close we're watching, she's really going through what the Commonwealth of Kentucky has to prove in order for the jury to find Brett Hankison guilty beyond a reasonable doubt of the crimes charged. We're going to step aside, take a break. We'll go back into the courtroom together in just a few minutes.
tragedy that captivated the country.
Police officers shot and killed Breonna Taylor in a botched raid on her home.
Somebody shot my girlfriend.
Only one of them, Brett Hankison, is facing charges.
The charges have nothing to do with the shooting death of Breonna Taylor.
The indictment had to do with bullets that went into an adjacent home.
Please continue to say her name.
The Breonna Taylor botched raid trial. Live coverage today, only on Court TV.
Hey, Toby, can we get a couple of the games on?
Not that kind of TV. These are digital menus to let people know that breakfast is half off when you order through the app.
So, no games.
Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's, official breakfast of March Madness.
Hi, I'm Kirk Kaiser, and did you know the average funeral costs around $10,000? And if you don't have enough insurance to cover funeral costs, credit card debt, and other expenses, your family is going to get stuck with the bill. Don't let that happen. Call right now. And if you're
important job at that time, Mike Noble's the most important job. He's the one with the ram, and then they said, go ahead. He didn't want to have to use that ram. Mike Nobles, this distracted us. The argument with Sarpy took our focus off the door. More circumstances. Next slide. He's the one that directed the patrol to bring long rifles. Cody was in more danger with rifles in the back. More circumstances. His wild shooting with no target, with no reason, put fellow officers in jeopardy. His shooting from this sliding door, while they're still here in the fatal funnel, he was never in the fatal funnel, ladies and gentlemen. He was out here. His shooting wildly through this sliding door put his own fellow officers at risk. Look at this angle. They're still in the fatal funnel. Circumstances, the doors in the breezeway are clearly visible. A trained officer, trained 20 years to observe his surroundings, especially in a situation like this. What you won't find in the instructions is anything that requires you to find a motive. You're not required to find or know why he did this. You won't find that in there. You won't find anything in the instructions requiring you to find or consider whether he acted in self-defense or whether he acted in defense of another. You won't find that in the instructions because that, once again, would have required an intentional shooting. That may be something that would have been applicable to those that were in the fatal funnel who did shoot back intentionally. You won't find in these instructions anything that requires you to decide why he did this. And the facts are, he actually came in here and told you that he was standing on the doormat and saw the flash straight ahead in the hallway, and then when the hallway lit up, he saw a figure in a tactical stance with a long rifle. He actually came in here and told you that he was the one standing in the doorway and saw the shooter. Okay, well, the fact is that didn't happen. Because if he had been there, he would have shot then with a real active threat in front of him. Like you heard Mattingly and Cosgrove, who were the ones there, who were in the fatal funnel, who did take fire, who did take a bullet and fired back. If he had been the one standing there instead of Mattingly and Cosgrove, yeah, we wouldn't be here. It may be in another situation, but it wouldn't be. He may be in another situation, but we wouldn't be here. He was never in the line of fire. You do not have to find why he did this. Next slide. His wanton conduct could have multiplied one tragic death, Breonna Taylor. His wanton conduct could have multiplied her death by 3. Easily. This is what this case is about. This is who it's about. By grace, they're still alive. I ask that you find, based on this evidence, that this defendant is guilty of wanton endangerment under the law of Kentucky for his conduct that night. Wanton endangerment of Cody, of Chelsea, and Zayden. Thank you.